Hey guys, what's up? This is Money002 and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna share with you guys my custom loadout that I always use in multiplayer in Black Ops 3. So without any delay, let's proceed to it. So I divide my loadout into 6 parts. So here you can see all 6, but I'm gonna show you guys only 3 in this part 1 video. So let's move on to the first loadout, which is a short range to mid range engagement. So the first, I suggest you guys to take an SMG or submachine guns, and which the SMG that I suggest you guys or recommended you to use is Kuda, VMP and Vesper. Since Vesper and VMP has the highest fire rate and is very good for close quarters, not close quarter, short range and mid range, if you know how to use it. So anyway, let's move with my first favorite weapon, Kuda. So this is my first favorite weapon, Kuda, and it's actually level 12. I'm not really use it frequently. So the first attachment I'm going to ask you to use is a quick draw. Why? Because you're gonna aim a little bit faster, and it's very useful when you just stop sprinting and then you need to shoot the enemy. It's very useful. So the second attachment, I suggest you to take grips, but you can use any attachment that you like, but I suggest you to take grips because it reduces the recoil that this gun give it to you. Because if you ADS an enemy with highest kick or recoil, you're not going to hit the enemy. I'm sorry guys, I'm not really well today. You're gonna miss the shot and waste your bullet. So it's very useful to use this. But I suggest you guys to use the second attachment, any attachment that you like, but the main attachment is a quick draw. It's very useful for it. So let's move on to secondary. A lot of my friends doesn't suggest me to use a secondary since they doesn't really like the secondary, and they want to put a lot more slot for the primary gunfighter to activate it. So for secondary, I'm going to suggest you guys to take the LCAR-9. Why? Because this is a fully automatic gun, and it reminds me of the Cap 40 in Black Ops 2 because I really like Cap 40, and it have medium fire rate with modest damage. I'm sorry. Don't worry about the damage. When you get up close and personal, this gun is very useful. I'm gonna pick this one. So no attachment, or you can put quick draw. Okay, the next, let's move on to the lethal slot. So I'm going to tell you that I always use a Semtex. Why? Because I'm gonna stuck my Semtex to the enemy and let them run to their friend and kill their friend for me. So it's very useful. It always stuck on every surfaces like wall, ceilings, pool, cars, especially on Nuketown. Since there's a car that can be exploded, this one is very useful. And you can use it on your teammate, but you need the full cooperation with your teammate. Just stuck them with a Semtex and make sure they run into the room full of enemy, and you will get a free kill without hustling and get a little bit more damage with it. So the tactical, since my gameplay I always breach and clear, I always use concussion because it will disorient the enemies and slow their movement and reduce their respawn time from before I can enter the room. So that's it for the first. Let's move on to the next item, which is the perk. I always use Sixth Sense since my friend Warrior and ShadowX13 suggest to me, and it's very useful because who knows, the enemy might camp around the corner and you can use it to detect them. Very useful. So the second perk, I'm gonna use Fast Hand because I'm gonna swam weapon and aim faster after I'm finished sprinting. So this one is really good. Yeah, it's really good. So the third one is simple. I'm gonna use Blast Suppress. So I don't want to to ruin the surprise I'm going to give him, since every day in Black Ops 3 multiplayer TDM they always have someone's birthday, so I'm gonna give them a very good surprise. And hey, you don't want to make sure, you're gonna make sure people we want to give a surprise doesn't know that you are coming. Very good. So this is my loadout for close and for or short to mid-range engagement. So let's move on to the next loadout, which is a mid-range to long-range engagement. So for it, we're gonna use AR or assault rifle. The recommended assault rifle I'm going to ask you to use is the KN44, the HVK30, Man of War, and Shiva. But both of Man of War and Shiva you need to use a high caliber and FMJ. And Shivas require you to use a lot of patience to use it. So let's move on to the weapon that I use it. Okay, so as a simple, my main attachment is quick draw for faster aiming, and this loadout a little bit modified. I'm gonna use a high caliber because a high caliber increase damage on headshot, so it's easier for you to get a headshot. It's my opinion. So if you don't have any, you have other opinion, just tell me what is it. So I'm gonna pick high caliber. Simple, always the same. Always be safe better than sorry. I think no, not the real word. Okay. Okay, make sure that you have a precaution with it. So always have a secondary, because your trusty secondary gonna save you a lot of time. Because I always remember, guys, switching to your secondary is faster than your reloading. Just take this one. So next is the same. Are you gonna use Semtex? And the tactical are always going to use between only two grenades: concussion grenade and flashbang. It's very useful since I'm gonna blind the enemy so they cannot see it for a while. So I'm gonna put two. I'm gonna slow their movement 2 times. So the first perk always the same. I always use the 6 hand perks and fast hand, and the third perk is a blast suppress. It's very useful using this one. All this thing is very useful for me, but a lot of people may different from me, and this is what I think. So that's it, guys, for my second loadout, mid-range to long-range attachment engagement loadout. So if you want a close quarters, like up close and personal, I'm gonna suggest you for my third loadout, which is a shotgun. So I suggest you only 2 shotgun, KRM 262 and Argus, because KRM have a higher damage for very close without ADS, and little bit slightly less range than Argus, since Argus have a little bit slightly less damage than the KRM, but it have a higher range. So it remind me of a KSG on a BO2. I'm sorry, I really like that shotgun. So let's use the first that I like is the KRM 262. So because since I just make it prestige, I doesn't unlock it yet, so I suggest you guys to take a quick draw and long barrel, just to put a little bit further range. But I gonna tip you guys, you need a lot of patience for it, so be patient, guys. Patience is a virtue, I tell you. So because I don't have any attachment, I'm gonna put a secondary, so the same LCR9, because you're gonna use a very good fire rate, since KRM 262 is a pump action. So these two come in handy in every way, in my way. I don't know what your way is. So lethal is very simple, the Semtex. I always like Semtex. I'm a Semtex freak. So concussion, another concussion, and the first perk is a sixth sense, and the second perk is a fast hand, and the third perk is a blast suppress. So this is my loadout for close quarters, since I like to play like breach and clear the breach the room and clear it out with my shotgun is very good. And this loadout is very useful on combine, aquarium and breach map, since there's a lot of tight corners and close quarters area that you can use against it. So that's it guys, my 3 custom loadout that I always use in BO3. So stick with my video for part 2, where I telling you my 4th till 6th loadout that I use in BO3. And if you guys doesn't want this loadout for other gameplay like domination, I guys suggest you guys to visit my friend channel Shadowrise13, because he do a loadout for domination. So I'm gonna put the link in the description below, so visit his channel, try to look his loadout. It's very good and it's very useful. So I'm going to credit my friend Warrior 33, as I remember, and Shadowrise13 for suggesting me these type of perks and loadout, because I used to get a little bit less winning than lose. So I got credit for them. So if you had a custom loadout that you want to share, you want me to feature in the video, just drop a comment or just tweet me on my Twitter, and I will put my link to my Twitter on the description below. And you can text me in the PSN, or you can just drop your comment about your loadout in the description box, and I try to make it, test it, and then I feature it in every week in Saturdays and Sundays. So there you go guys. So we will see on the part 2 of this channel of this, we're gonna see on the part 2 of this video about my loadout. So there you are guys, my name is 002 signing out.